USA Radio News with Wendy King.
After several nights of sometimes violent protests over the death of George Floyd, people are wondering when it will stop. Police cars were torched on the streets of Philadelphia. Curfews have been set in cities across the nation. Protests are underway in most big cities, including Los Angeles, Miami, and Washington, D.C. This marks the sixth day of violence and unrest across the country. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance tells CBS News Face the Nation she knows how angry people are, but violence doesn't help.
I understand the frustration. The frustration is real and the anger is warranted. But the violent eruptions won't offer us any solutions right now.
She says 2 police officers have been fired after body camera footage shows they used excessive force during a protest. This is USA Radio News.
Welcome to Tax Talk with Hollywood legend Bob Eubanks.
You know, as part of Hollywood for a long time, I've seen my fair share of celebrities get in trouble with the IRS. Well, there's one name I trust, the Tax Defense Group. They're the most trusted name in tax. So if you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, you really need to call my friends at the Tax Defense Group. Ignoring the IRS is not the solution. They can garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, seize your home or business. But the Tax Defense Group could put a stop to all of that and tailor a program that would reduce your tax debt to pennies on the dollar. You gotta love that. So don't just take my word for it. Call them. Find out for yourself. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. And they're open 24 hours a day because they know that tax debt doesn't sleep either.
Call now for your free and confidential tax analysis from the most trusted name in tax. Call 800-832-1594. 800-832-1594.
More protesters and vandals at the White House. WTLP reporter Steve Dresner is on the scene.
Well, apparently law enforcement officials have released some type of pepper spray into the air, moving the crowds back a bit. I just talked to one young lady who said it was definitely pepper spray.
There's more evidence that the coronavirus was circulating in the U.S. as much as a month prior to the first confirmed local case in February. According to research from the CDC's COVID-19 response team, genetic analysis of early cases suggest a single line of coronavirus imported from China began circulating in the U.S. between January 18th and February 9th. Genetic analysis of the early Washington state strains of coronavirus indicate they sprang from a common ancestor, which existed between mid-January to early February. The conclusion is that in many cases, the virus can be spread by people who show few or no symptoms. You're listening to USA Radio News.
While you have free time and you're sitting at home and you ponder what kind of gifts to buy for someone, PatriotDepot.com has you covered from puzzles, games, novelty items. If you're looking for some unique style items when it comes to the president, for more you can check out PatriotDepot.com. Call 844-377-8052. That's 844-377-8052 or PatriotDepot.com. Use promo code USA.
Food prices are still rising as the coronavirus pandemic drags on, and meat eaters are especially affected, as we hear from USA's Chris Barnes.
Supermarket customers are paying more for beef and pork than they have in decades during the coronavirus pandemic. That as the biggest meat processing companies are paying farmers and ranchers historically low prices. Politico reports the Agriculture Department and federal prosecutors are now investigating whether the meatpacking industry is fixing or manipulating prices. The Department of Justice looking at the 4 largest meat packers, Tyson Foods, JBS, National Beef, and Cargill, which collectively control about 85% of the U.S. meat market. The USDA is also reportedly looking into it, according to the Ag Chief Sonny Perdue. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
Well, President Trump rails against the prospect of mail-in voting this November. States affected by the coronavirus are moving ahead with plans for mail-in voting. CBS's Bill Rakoff.
The pandemic has prompted a total of 17 states to postpone their presidential primaries and expand their mail ballot access. Some states, like Rhode Island, Georgia, and Maryland, are sending out ballot application forms to registered voters. 5 states, meanwhile, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, Utah, and Washington, already have all-mail elections. They consist of a mix of sending ballots to registered voters and opening up limited polling centers for those that wish to vote in person.
For USA Radio News, I'm Wendy King.
Mostly cloudy tonight, 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms after midnight, though. Lows 55 to 60. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly sunny, 30% chance of rain and thunderstorms in the morning, and highs in the mid-80s. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Monday night, mostly clear, lows 55 to 60. Tuesday, mostly sunny, highs in the 80s. Tuesday night, partly cloudy, lows in the mid-50s. Wednesday, sunny, highs in the 80s. Wednesday night, partly cloudy, lows in the mid-50s. Thursday, mostly sunny, with a chance of rain and thunderstorms, highs in the 80s. Thursday night, partly cloudy, chance of rain and thunderstorms, lows in the mid-50s. Friday, mostly sunny, slight chance of rain and thunderstorms, highs 75 to 80. Friday night, partly cloudy, with a chance of rain and thunderstorms, lows in the mid-50s. And Saturday should be partly sunny, rain and thunderstorms likely, with highs in the mid-70s.
Lord, we pray that there will come a day when all the youth of this country can say
we choose to be drug-free, a new society,
and together we can find a better way. Just say no. I can live without it. Just say no. I don't need drugs to hide behind. Just say no. Let's all stand up and shout it. And one by one, we can save another life. Just say no. Oh, I believe we've all begun to see all the pain and the horrors that can be.
We can change the situation, save our generation.
It's in our heads. We can do it, you and me. Just say no.
Just say no.
I can live without it. Just say no. I don't need drugs to hide behind. Just say no.
Let's all stand up and shout it.
And one by one, we can save another life. Just say no.
Many parents feel their children know not to play with guns. However, before the age of 8, few children can tell a toy gun from a real one. Don't take the chance. Take 5 minutes now and do the following. Unload your gun when not in use and lock ammunition in a separate location. Use a trigger or cable lock or place the gun in a safe or locked box. Safe gun storage saves lives. Because there is no sympathy card sympathetic enough.
Most fatal fires take place at night, when you and your family are asleep, when seconds can make the difference between life and death. Are you protected? If you have one or more working smoke detectors in your home, you double your chances of surviving a fire. That's protection. And smoke detectors are inexpensive and easy to install. Smoke detectors? Now that's a real protector. A message from this station and your local fire department.
Schools today are preparing young people for tomorrow. You can be a part of their future. Parents and non-parents, adults of all ages have expertise and skills to share. Offer to read stories to children. Volunteer your time on field trips. Help students discover the world around them. Today's students are tomorrow's leaders. We all have a stake to their success. Visit your community schools to find out how you can help today.
Whether you have an infant, teenager, or grandchild, keeping a gun at home poses a real danger for your family. As a parent, you are already familiar with safety measures such as seat belts, bicycle helmets, and locking up medicines and poisons. But take 5 minutes now and do the following. Unload your guns when not in use and lock ammunition in a separate location. Use a trigger or cable lock or place the gun in a safe or locked box. Safe gun storage saves lives. because there is no sympathy card sympathetic enough.
Carbon monoxide is called the silent killer. It has no odor, no color, and no taste. You and your family may be at risk and not even know it. If exposed to enough of it, this poisonous gas can kill you in less than 3 minutes. But you can do something today to prevent this tragedy in your home. Buy and install a carbon monoxide alarm. Have your furnace and gas appliances inspected annually. And learn more about carbon monoxide poisoning. Call the Minnesota Department of Health at 1-800-657-3908.
Hear that sound? That's the sound of a working smoke detector, telling you it's ready to alert you if there's a fire. It's a sound that could save your life. Keep your smoke detectors working by testing them regularly. This message is brought to you by the DBC Radio Network and the local fire department.
Good morning, everyone. KPRM, KDKK Radio now begins its broadcast day. KDKK FM and KPRM AM out of Park Rapids, Minnesota are owned and operated by the Delahunt Broadcasting Corporation. Our studios and transmitters are located east of Park Rapids on Highway 34. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 49, Park Rapids, Minnesota 56470. KDKK FM broadcasts on a federally assigned frequency of 97.5 megahertz with a power output of 100,000 watts horizontal and 100,000 watts vertical. KPRM AM broadcasts on a federally assigned frequency of 870 kilohertz with a daytime power of 50,000 watts and a nighttime power of 1,000 watts. We invite you to tune in each and every day. KPRM KDKK broadcast hours are Monday through Saturday, 5:30 until midnight, and Sundays 7 a.m. until midnight.
The title of today's contact is Bridging the Digital Divide.
In the future, the computers are going to be really, really small, and they're probably going to figure into everything because, everybody uses computers nowadays. Us being in computers and knowing it, you have to keep on learning, and you have to grow with it. So we're going to be at an advantage. We're going to know more, and we're going to grow more with it to be able to be the best in the business.
I honestly think that computers are going to be the center of most operations. I think it's going to be something like the Jetsons. You have talking computers or something like that, but computers are going to be used in everyday life.
Compared to the technology now, we're going to look back and say, what was that? It's stuff that you couldn't imagine would happen. I can't wait.
I think what you've just discussed is one of the reasons why Perscolas and their program with the Access computers is so important, because what we have here, especially in the South Bronx, is what is called the digital divide. And you have people who have access to computers and the internet, and you have many families who do not have access to computers and the internet. And this is no longer a luxury, that this is needed not only for the schoolwork, but it's a part of everyday life of a technological society, and that if students aren't exposed to it and participate in it, that they have a handicap as it compared to everyone else. So not only the internship program, but the fact that they are able to refurbish computers that are donated to them and sell them at cost to either the schools or to the parents for the use of the students for their homework and everything, is performing a very, very vital service.
While tomorrow's technologies may seem a little like science fiction to Patricia Murphy's students at Samuel Gompers High School in the Bronx, at least one thing is clear. Their futures have been brightened by the efforts of Perscolas, a nonprofit provider of technology and training. Hi, I'm Jonathan Clark.
I'm Kim Furlow, and you're listening to Contact, the award-winning program with stories about people helping other people to meet the challenges that face us every day.
Unequal adoption of technology has long been a characteristic of the gap between rich and poor. As America moves into the 21st century, a digital divide, separating those with access to information technology from those without, mirrors the gap in family incomes.
Children from poor families and school districts are living on the wrong side of this divide. And with information technologies evolving at a mind-boggling pace, they'll only find it harder to get a good job with good pay when they enter the workforce.
In New York, Perscolas aims at bridging the gap between digital haves and have-nots. It's changed lives nationwide through the manufacture of new and reconditioned computers, the training of technology workers, and the operation of a computer recycling center.
When we started in 1995, our mission was to address the technology needs of schools, particularly schools in the poorest community districts serving the families of the most limited means. And how could we, as a not-for-profit organization, find ways to provide affordable technology and services to the schools that needed it the most? And then as a corollary to that mission, how could we find a means to address the needs for training in the poorest communities so that the people of the South Bronx had a chance at training for jobs in technology.
Deborah McFarland is the president and CEO of Per Scholas.
And so from the very beginning, there was an integration of workforce development, economic development in the sense that we would employ and train local residents to work in the factory here. And also, how could we integrate that with actually building our own brand name computers called Per Scholas for schools. And so we deliberately located ourselves here in the South Bronx. It's part of the poorest congressional district in the United States. And it was very important to demonstrate that, yes, high-tech jobs can exist in the South Bronx. And more importantly, that local residents can qualify for those jobs, train for those jobs, and advance in IT careers. And so while we have 52 full-time employees here, all of our technical staff are the graduates of our own training program. And that's our permanent full-time workforce. In addition to that, we train 160 people a year from the South Bronx and other neighboring poor communities, where folks enroll in a rigorous 16-week program to really learn the skills of a certified A+ by CompTIA Association computer technician. And those folks also work for us for some period of time in a structured internship after they've completed the training and while they're looking for unsubsidized employment in the outside world. So it's that very integrated combination of training, but not training in isolation, training in a real factory where there are real orders to fill.
Since its founding, Per Scholas has supplied more than 20,000 new low-cost computers to poor schools in 22 states. But the problem remained: how to bring the resources of the Internet into the homes of poor families.
By coincidence, the J.P. Morgan Foundation invited Per Scholas to study the problem of the disposal of old computers by businesses that no longer needed them. Deborah McFarland.
And of course our minds started racing and thinking, well, if there were a way for us to address the self-interest needs of corporations, to provide a service they could really use, then that might be the mechanism for getting thousands of donated high-quality computers whereby poor families become the beneficiaries. And so we spent almost 2 years studying the problem about what do corporations do with computers that are no longer in service. And basically we designed a program, it's called our Access Program, that was meant to serve the corporate need so that families could benefit.
Per Scholas operations are housed in an enormous former mint in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx. The used computers come right off the desk of employees at J.P. Morgan Chase, General Electric, the U.S. Postal Service, and a host of other corporations and government agencies in the New York metropolitan area.
Each computer is evaluated. If a unit is deemed fit for further service, its hard drive undergoes a data wipe by a bonded employee. If it cannot be refurbished, the drive is destroyed and the entire unit moves on to the recycling area.
Those computers that can be reconditioned move on to the access area, where they're rebuilt for distribution in the access line.
Per Scholas executive Jeff Conspor gave Contact a tour.
And what we do is we add back in the drivers, which is the contents of the computer, that basically tells the computer how to work, to recognize the mouse, to recognize the hard drive, as well as we add in Microsoft Office 97. In addition, we add a CD-ROM for those systems that do not have CD-ROMs. Every unit gets a 56K modem, because most of them do not have modems, because it came off of a network environment. We make sure that they have a minimum of 64 megs of memory. We add a new keyboard and a new mouse, because no one wants to be playing with a grungy keyboard or a mouse. And we add a new set of speakers along with a sound card. And then we package it with a 15-inch refurbished colored monitor. And we're making those available through various not-for-profits across the United States for $295 with a 1-year warranty.
The computers also go out with training materials and an 800 number for help desk support in English and Spanish.
Since Per Scholas began the Access Program in November 2000, More than 3,000 needy families have connected to the internet at home. Deborah McFarland.
The way access computers get to families, we don't actually sell retail. And we work through other nonprofit intermediaries like the National Urban League, parent-teacher associations, community colleges, and a whole host of other nonprofit organizations who each have their own mission, and which often includes access to technology. And so we can become sort of the supplier of that technology. And it happens in so many different and interesting and exciting ways. There's a school just across the Bruckner Expressway here called PS30. 200 families signed up through the Parent-Teacher Association. They joined the local nonprofit credit union, saved $25 a week for 12 weeks or so. And every single family made every single payment. Every family had a computer and a printer in time for Christmas.
Several years ago, poor attendance, low test scores, and a high dropout rate threatened to close Samuel Gompers Vocational and Technical High School in the South Bronx. But a visionary principal and her staff worked tirelessly to turn the school around.
And being the college advisor, what I try to do is to make sure that the students have choices, and that I try to provide a pathway that whatever their dreams are, that they're able to pursue it.
Patricia Murphy is a teacher and college advisor at Gompers High.
And this we have done with Perscolas, with the Access computers, that we've set up a college and career center. And we have 15 computers so that we're able to bring groups of students in, or groups of students are able to access the computers during the day. And there's a whole series of websites that they can get information. They can go to college, their home pages. And also what we do is we have the computers there so that they can work on term papers. The library is open in the school before school. We're opened after school so that at all times during the day, the students have access to this technology and to this information that's available for them.
Gompers students have also completed internships at Perscolas. Adrian McIntosh is now at the University of Hartford.
Oh, it was very helpful since during our senior year, it's all computers. And that helped me a lot because like stuff that other students didn't know, I knew. So my class was very small, so I helped the class, and it wasn't very hard for me because I knew most of the stuff already, and especially the tests and stuff. It was kind of easy for me during my senior year because I knew this stuff already.
Olawale Daramola is now enrolled at Union University in Schenectady, New York.
Like Adrian said, when we got to our senior year, it made it easier for us. We knew more than the other students. The test was easy because basically the whole year was computers. So we already knew how to build our computers. We had to troubleshoot it. So when we had we had to build a computer and it's off there. It was easier for us. We did it quicker than the other students. Also, it made me want to, like, my major is a mechanical, but it made me understand like what I really want to do in it, like what I want to do with computers and like the different areas I want to go into.
Naya Young's internship allowed her to show some faculty members a thing or two when she took part in a summer session at Ithaca College.
I like breaking and fixing things, so I know when I came to the program, they showed me how to fix what I broke, and they showed me how different softwares affect a computer and how to troubleshoot. And over the summer, we had a lot of problems at college, and me and another student that was in the program fixed the computers, and it was quite fun because we were teaching the teachers.
The attitudes of these future technological leaders reflect the impact of Perscolas. Olawale Daramola.
I mean, everybody uses computers nowadays. Any field you go into, you use computers some way, somehow. So us being in computers and knowing it, I mean, you have to keep on learning. You have to grow with it. So we're going to be at an advantage. We're going to know more, and we're going to grow more with it to be able to be the best in the business.
For more information about Perscolas or for a transcript of today's show, call us toll-free at 1-888-7-CONTACT or visit our website at contactradio.org.
We also invite your comments. Ask for the program entitled Bridging the Digital Divide.
Today's edition of Contact was produced by Jim Hone. Next week, a look at how some young people survive their troubled childhood by turning to places of refuge within their communities.
Keep in touch every week with Contact.